On a hot afternoons, the buses on Jefferson Avenue breathed heat like dragons. They pulled up to the curb with a metallic sigh, doors wheezing open, and spilled out people who just wanted to get home, get food, or get somewhere that wasn't vibrating with noise and horns and fumes. Miguel "Migs" Navarro stepped off the number 12 bus with his backpack slung over one shoulder, hoodie a size too big, black hair falling into his eyes. He was 17, Filipino, and still getting used to the way the city felt compared to the quiet subdivision where his family lived. Back home in Cavite, the streets had been loud too, but it was a different kind of loud. Jeepneys blasting music, neighbors shouting greetings. Here, people looked straight past him like he was invisible. He adjusted his backpack and checked the time on his phone. 3:42 p.m. He still had almost an hour before his volunteer shift at the community center. Long enough to grab something cheap to eat, maybe review some notes for the scholarship essay he'd been obsessing over all week. As he walked, he slipped a small laminated card out of his wallet and ran his thumb over the edge. It was new, barely a week old, and he kept checking it like he was afraid it might disappear. The city seal glinted faintly on the corner next to the words Youth Community Advisor, City of Willowdale Police Community Partnership Program. Underneath was his photo, a little too serious, and his name, Miguel Navarro. He had applied to the program months ago, writing essay after essay about wanting to help bridge the gap between police and young people of color. He'd almost talked himself out of it. He'd watched enough videos online, heard enough stories from older cousins to know how ugly things could get. But his guidance counselor had looked him in the eye and said, if someone like you doesn't get in there, Miguel, it's just going to be the same voices in the room. You want things to change? Sit at the table. The chief of police himself, Chief Reynolds, had shaken Miguel's hand during the orientation meeting in a crowded conference room. We need kids like you in this program, he'd said. You see things we don't. Don't be shy about telling us when we get it wrong. His grip had been firm, his eyes surprisingly kind. The memory made Miguel stand a little straighter as he walked down the block, past the laundromat and the pharmacy and the chicken place that always smelled like frying oil. He slipped the ID back into his wallet and tucked it into his hoodie pocket. He didn't see the patrol car creeping alongside the curb until it flashed its lights once, a quick pop of blue and red that made his stomach drop. Hey, you with the backpack, a voice shouted. Miguel froze. The patrol car stopped a few feet ahead of him. The passenger door swung open, and a tall white officer stepped out, jaw tight, shoulders squared. Another officer slid out from the driver's side, shorter but just as broad, his expression already suspicious. Hands where we can see 'em, the taller one barked.
Miguel's mind stuttered. What? He said, lifting his hands automatically. You heard him, the other officer said, stepping in close and seizing Miguel's arm. Keep those hands up. Confusion turned to fear in a heartbeat. Miguel felt his throat go dry. People on the sidewalk slowed, eyes flicking toward them, some ducking out of the way, some staring outright. What did I do? Miguel asked, his voice pitching higher. I'm just walking. The tall officer grabbed the front of his hoodie and yanked him a step closer. Funny you say that, he said. His nameplate read Hawkins. We got a call about a robbery suspect. Male, late teens, dark hoodie, backpack, Asian. You fit pretty damn close, kid. Miguel's chest clenched. He pictured all the what to do if stopped by police videos he'd watched. All the advice. Stay calm, don't argue, keep your hands visible, ask if you're being detained. His brain tried to summon the right words, but everything tangled together. I just got off the bus, he stammered. I came from school. You can check. We'll decide what we can check, Miller snapped. His tag read Miller. He twisted Miguel's arm a little higher. Got ID? Yes, Miguel said quickly. In my pocket. Can I reach for it? Hawkins rolled his eyes. Slowly, he said. Miller, you got him? Yeah, Miller grunted, tightening his grip on Miguel's shoulder. Miguel forced his trembling hand toward his hoodie pocket, fingers closing around his wallet. He pulled it out and held it up. "On the hood," Hawkins ordered, jerking his chin toward the patrol car. Miller shoved Miguel toward the car. Miguel stumbled, catching himself on the hood with his free hand. The metal was hot under his palm. Hawkins plucked the wallet from his fingers. "Name," he demanded. "Miguel Navarro, but everyone calls me Miggs. I live on—" Hawkins already had the wallet open. He flipped past the school ID and the library card without a glance, then stopped when he saw the laminated card with the city seal. "What's this?" he said, his tone shifting into mocking curiosity. He held it up between two fingers. "Well, well, look at this, Miller. We got ourselves a big shot." Miller leaned over his shoulder and snorted. "Youth Community Advisor. Oh man, that's adorable. Little cop in training, huh? You print this off the internet?" Miguel's face flushed. "It's real," he said quickly. "The chief gave it to me. I'm in the program. We had orientation last week in the conference room upstairs at the station. You can ask him." Hawkins laughed outright now, the sound loud and harsh in his ears. "Yeah, ask the chief," he mimicked, putting a whiny edge on the words. "I swear, every kid we stop has some imaginary cop best friend. My uncle's a detective, my cousin's an FBI agent." Miller chuckled. "Hey, kid," he said, leaning close to Miguel's ear. "You watch too many shows, yeah? This is real life. Out here, these little plastic toys don't mean anything." He tapped the edge of the ID.
Before we continue the story, let me know what country you're watching from. Hit the like button if you love this story, and please subscribe if you are new to my channel. Let's continue. Miguel's heart hammered. His eyes darted to the people around them. A woman in a sundress had stopped a few feet away, mouth slightly open. Another man stood further back, phone held low but clearly recording. A bus hissed at the curb, passengers peering through the glass. "I'm not lying," Miguel said, trying to keep his voice steady. "I'm supposed to be at the community center at 4. You can call—" Hawkins slammed his palm onto the hood next to Miguel's hand, making him jump. "I can do whatever I want until I figure out if you're our guy," he snapped. "So how about you stop telling us what to do and answer the questions we ask?" Miguel bit down on the inside of his cheek. His eyes burned. He hated the way his voice trembled, the way his body responded before his mind could catch up. "Are you detaining me?" he managed, the phrase scraping its way out of his memory. Miller snorted. "Look at that. He's been reading legal blogs," he said. "Yeah, we're detaining you," Hawkins said, "until we figure out if you're the one who snatched a purse 2 blocks over. Lady said he ran this way. You think we're just gonna wave at every hoodie kid and let him go?" "I didn't do anything," Miguel said louder now. "I just got off the bus. There's cameras on there. You can—" "Enough," Hawkins said. "We'll check your story. In the meantime, you know what happens? You go in the back of the car." Miguel's stomach lurched. "But I didn't—" Miller tugged his wrists behind his back. "Hands," he ordered. Miguel stiffened. The idea of handcuffs in front of all these people in broad daylight made his skin crawl. "Please," he said. "I didn't do anything. And that ID, if you just ask the chief, he'll—" "The chief is busy doing real work," Hawkins scoffed. He turned the ID in his fingers, still smirking. "Youth advisor," he said, mocking each syllable. "What do you do, kid? Tell us how to be nicer to you on TikTok?" A sharp voice cut through the noise. "Hawkins, Miller, what the hell is going on?" They all turned. Chief Reynolds was striding down the sidewalk from the corner, suit jacket off, white shirt sleeves rolled up against the heat. Miguel recognized him immediately. Same square jaw as in the photos on the station wall, same streaks of gray at his temples. He'd been heading back from a lunch meeting, patrol officers trailing a few steps behind when he'd spotted the commotion. Hawkins straightened, hand dropping from Miguel's hoodie. "Chief, we got a match on that robbery call. Asian male, late teens, hoodie, backpack, says his name is Navarro, gave us this fake ID. He says he's in some youth advisor program." Reynolds' gaze landed on the laminated card. The change in his face was instant and sharp, like someone flipping a switch. "Give me that," he said. Hawkins handed it over, suddenly less sure of himself. The chief looked at the ID closely, his jaw clenched. Then he turned his eyes on Miguel. "Miguel Navarro?" he asked. Miguel swallowed. "Yes, sir," he said. "We met last week. At the orientation, we shook hands." Reynolds nodded slowly. "I remember," he said. "You were the one who talked about walking your little sister past our station and wondering if she'd ever feel safe waving at us." Miguel hadn't expected him to remember that. His breath hitched. Reynolds turned on Hawkins and Miller, his expression darkening. "And you two thought this was a fake ID?" he asked, voice low and controlled, in a way that was more frightening than if he'd yelled. Hawkins shifted his weight. "Chief, we got a call." "I heard the call," Reynolds cut in. "I also heard the description. Medium build, 5'10", black windbreaker, red backpack. He's 6 foot sats at best, wearing gray, and got off a bus 2 minutes ago. Did either of you bother to check the bus camera before grabbing a kid on the sidewalk?" Miller opened his mouth, then shut it again. "And did either of you think to radio in this ID before laughing at it?" Reynolds continued, holding up the card. "Because I'm the one who signed it. I created this program. Every youth advisor went through a full background check, interviews, school recommendations. This fake ID is more vetted than half the people I see walking in for job applications." Hawkins' face drained of color. A few bystanders had edged closer, phones up now, clearly recording everything. The woman in the sundress folded her arms, glaring. "Chief, we were just being careful," Hawkins said weakly. "We can't assume." "You assumed the worst," Reynolds snapped. "You assumed that a brown kid in a hoodie with an accent name matching part of a description had to be your suspect. And then you humiliated him on the street while wearing my badge." Miller looked like he wanted to disappear. "We didn't cuff him," he said, grasping at anything. "We were just questioning." "You grabbed him, shoved him against my cruiser, and mocked an ID he earned. I saw enough from half a block away, and I guarantee those cameras," he nodded at the phones, "saw even more." He stepped closer to Miguel, his tone softening. "Miguel, are you all right?" he asked.
Miguel's throat tightened. I think so," he said. They didn't believe me." Reynolds nodded. "That's obvious," he said quietly. "I'm sorry this happened. It shouldn't have." Marking a deliberate choice, he turned to face the gathering crowd. "For the record," he said, voice carrying, "this young man is part of our Youth Community Advisor program. He is here because we asked him to help us do better with kids his age. And instead of listening to him, my officers treated him like a suspect first and a person second. That is not acceptable." Hawkins and Miller stared straight ahead, faces flushed, eyes glassy. The words hit them harder than any formal reprimand could have. Reynolds looked at Miguel again. "Do you still have to get to the community center?" he asked. Miguel nodded. "Yes, sir," he said. "I'm supposed to help with the after-school tutoring." Reynolds inhaled slowly, then blew the breath out through his nose. "All right," he said. "If you're comfortable, I'd like you to walk there with me. We'll talk on the way. After that, if you're willing, I'd like you to come in next week and be part of a training for officers, because clearly some of us need to hear directly from the kids we're supposed to be protecting." Miguel hesitated. His hands still shook. Part of him wanted to just go home, crawl into bed, and forget the whole thing. But another part remembered why he joined the program in the first place. If someone like him walked away, what changed? "I'll come," he said quietly. "I don't want this to happen to other kids." Reynolds gave a small nod, something like pride in his eyes. He reached into his pocket and took out a card. "If your parents want to talk to me, this has my direct number," he said. "They deserve an explanation and an apology." He turned back to Hawkins and Miller. "You two are off street duty effective immediately. Turn in your weapons and body cams when you get back to the station. You'll be on desk work until Internal Affairs finishes reviewing this. Then we'll decide if you're fit to wear that badge." "Yes, Chief," they muttered, humiliation written all over them. As Miguel and Reynolds started down the sidewalk together, the woman with the phone lowered it and called out,
"Hey, kid, you okay?" Miguel glanced back, surprised to see so many faces watching him with concern instead of suspicion. "Yeah, I think so." He walked beside the chief, the city noise swelling around them. The laminated ID in his pocket felt heavier than before, but not in a bad way. It felt real, anchored by what had just happened. At the corner, Reynolds spoke again. "You know, when we started that program, some of my officers rolled their eyes. They thought it was just PR, something to look good on a brochure." Miguel gave a small, tired smile. "They still think that. Or they did. Not after today. After today, some of them are going to have to sit in a room and listen to how it feels to be on the other side of their assumptions. And you're going to help me make sure they hear it." Miguel looked up at the chief, and for the first time since the bus doors opened, felt his chest loosen. "Okay," he said, "but I'm not going to be nice just because they're cops." Reynolds laughed once, humorless. "Good. Help hasn't gotten us far enough." When they reached the community center, kids were already spilling out of the front door, backpacks bouncing, voices rising in a chaotic chorus. Miguel paused at the steps and looked back down the street, where the patrol car was now parked quietly, officers inside looking smaller than they had minutes before. Then he turned and went inside to help with math homework, his ID still warm in his pocket, the weight of the afternoon following him. Painful, yes, but also powerful. If they were going to ask him to sit at the table, he decided he was going to make sure they listened when he spoke.
Thank you for watching to our Badge and Justice stories. If you want to watch more stories like this, click the videos above. See you again tomorrow.